Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast again. One day, Keith's going to get the topic on the website done, so I'm holding you to that, Keith.
I know.
But we've got a few. I know you've been busy. We've got a few big topics today, and it's pretty much people being idiots, and like they always are. The first one, we've got Take-Two saying that people are ready for expensive games. $70 or £55 or £60, whatever they want to call it. They're being bastards. We'll talk about that why soon.
Right?
We've got Joseph Fares, who said that replay value or replayability is overrated. And then Remedy, the only ones not being idiots, so trying to actually solve the issue of co-op games and the fact that people get bored shitless of them. I'm in a swearing mood today. I think it's Take-Two's reason.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll start with Take-Two.
Take two of your dollars and more.
Yeah. So, how can I say this without swearing a lot? I can't. So, Take-Two have been absolute fucking twats. Strauss Zelnick, who's said now that, people are ready for the $70 next-gen games. NBA 2K21 being the first one to announce this $70 price point. And there's many, many reasons why that's wrong, but I'm going to get into that very shortly. I'm going to let you two give your opinions first. So, fire, Keith and Alessio.
Alessio, I'm gonna let you go first. Yeah, and then I'll come up on this one. I've got some opinions.
I think ultimately it's all about the content that you can deliver. I mean, the problem with the NBA 2K lately is mostly with the microtransactions, which is
casino.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think if he told me, pay $70, but we pull the microtransactions away mostly, then I'd say why not? Because if the game has enough content and quality, and without microtransactions, I can see that there might be a point about upping the base price. But of course, since the game is full of microtransactions and they are also upping the price, then that kind of ruins his point that, basically his point is that this is the first time that there is an increase in the base price since basically 15 years. So, and this is more or less true. But like I said, the issue here is their implementation of microtransactions, because otherwise the game, actually, I think Nathan reviewed it, the next gen version of the game, which is $70, is actually much better, both in terms of presentation and also gameplay. So the game is good. There is no denying that. The issue again is always the microtransactions part. So
yeah, I'm gonna echo that. In all seriousness, like I'm not. Look, there were games for my Nintendo NES system and Sega Genesis and N64 that were that much. Those games haven't always been just $50 or just $60.
No, they haven't.
I'm not. I know that how this comes across immediately, that it sounds like I'm defending these companies, but the reason they cost that back then was because it had to cost that because of the you had to build the game. You had a cartridge. There was a very large, expensive physical media involved with it.
Shipping.
You had the shipping, but
you literally had more PCBs in some games. Some games, literally, the game was physically bigger. It took more to make it, and you shipped a final product from day one. You didn't ship something that was 90% at best. I'm giving some people way more credit than they deserve. At 90%. Yeah, you couldn't ship a 70% finished game and be like, we're getting around to it. Well, okay, so it's gonna have multiplayer, but it's not there yet. Eventually we're gonna release it when nobody cares. Yeah, we're gonna put a story. And that's these sports games, they hold no value long term. These are iterative annual releases that they drop, and then they sell bullcrap packs for people to buy for them. It's a freaking gumball machine, and they're making you buy the gumball machine and then put your own quarters in to get your stuff out that you bought.
Can I just one thing you've sort of missed on the reason why games used to cost and justifiably costed more back then?
A smaller market to get your money back. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like,
you had a lot smaller market.
Yeah, you had to make that, or you weren't going to get your money back as an investor, as a publisher, or even a developer making the game. So you had 10 people. I know there were more than 10 people, but you had 10 people buying, whereas now you have 100 people buying. So you've been able, the developers and the publishers and everywhere, they've been posting record profits off of these cheap games, at $50-$60 a game. And we all as consumers equate the value of the game. There's a range. There's, we accept $20 for indie games that are, small experiences. We're cool with that. 40 games like the Medium, if you were to have bought it, it was about a $40 game, $45.
Yeah.
You accept a shorter, smaller experience at those prices, but when you get to that full $60 and $70, now it becomes really vague, because some people may sit down and say, okay, God of War, I can play through it in 20 hours. It's worth $60-$70 to me. But it's to me, there has to be the value beyond the initial play. Like a single playthrough.
That's going to be a topic for later.
Yeah, as well. Their games are already a value for consumers. And again, I'm going to sound like I'm defending these people, but I'm not. Games have a much larger value to its purchaser because of the amount of time we get with it. Yeah. You go to the movie theater, you pay $15, $20 a head, and it's an hour and a half, 2-hour experience, and it's over. You spend $20 on Valheim, and you've got days worth of entertainment.
Yeah.
It's a little, but because of that, it's a different market. You can't compare it. These are very different things. Like a book. You can pay $6 for a book and read it for 2 weeks. Do you start comparing books to games?
Yeah, they are very different mediums, and that's always been an issue for gaming. It always tries to. What doesn't want to be compared to films when it doesn't suit, but it also wants to be compared to films when it's like there's this inferiority complex because games are newer that they somehow need to catch up when they really don't.
No, games are their own medium.
That's a completely different topic for another day, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. But
yeah,
the $70 price tag, though, it has to have the value there.
Yeah,
there has to be the promise of a delivery, and it can't be. Now, some people will take Dark Souls for example. There are some people who are going to play it for 300 hours. They're going to play it over and over and over again. And that makes an argument for it. But if you're somebody who wants to play the game and you're going to play through it one time, you're probably going to wait for it to go on sale.
Yeah.
This feels like a way to extract more value from the market. And I wonder how much of it has to do with how few people have these next-gen consoles. By
quite possibly, if they're releasing it next gen only, I haven't heard. But I mean, obviously, of some future coming games, but we know like NBA 2K21, it was released last gen and next gen.
Mm-hmm.
So
is the last gen version 70 or just the next gen version?
No, just the next gen.
And why is that? Is there so much more development and effort going into this next gen version?
No, I just don't think they've managed to pare back. They developed it for next gen and then pared back graphics and
so technically they did more work on the cheaper version.
I have heard that, like Nate said, that the gameplay is better.
There are new animations, smoother animations on next gen. So there is, and I don't know if
a little bit more work then.
Yeah.
See, my problem is it depends on the game, and much like you said, and I'm like everybody knows I hate the companies. I do. But
Chris hates all companies. They're all bastards.
I hate everything. But
Chris sounds like one of those old men.
He's my favorite curmudgeon.
I think I am. I must be like 1,000-year-old in head. In body, I'm only like 100. But no, the problem. There are certain games, and I can pick one off my shelf right now. That if they made it with the current sort of standards, it would be worth 70 any second. Final Fantasy VIII. Just pick that up.
I'm actually playing that over there. It's pulled up.
Excellent. So Final Fantasy VIII, that's a massive game, massive story. It's just fantastic throughout. You make a game like that.
It's called Leonard. Is it that one? Yeah.
Yes.
RPGs are worth the money, in my opinion. A good
Depending
RPG.
on the RPG, but yes, a good RPG. And to be fair, I'll even give that justification to an Activision Blizzard game, World of Warcraft. It's worth the 70, provided you play it. And I've spent thousands on World of Warcraft over the years. Well, no, maybe not thousands. Probably at least $300, $400 on World of Warcraft since I started playing it. Subscription fees and all that. And it's been worth it because I get my money's worth. I get to play the game and I've enjoyed what I've played when I played it. But then you look at games like NBA 2K20, within the first year, or in actually less than a year, it made over $1 billion. They cannot say they need the £70 price tag. And we all know it's a lie, or anybody with the hamster turning the cogs in the head knows it's a lie. Those who just want to suck the hose pipe of the companies, then yes, they don't know it's a lie, or they're just willfully ignorant. But and then you come to the microtransactions, then you come to the price gouging of everything, then you come to the fact that the vid games are taking out content to sell later, you come to the fact that everything has been pared back. The games are not size-wise or content, the actual amount of content, games are smaller than they've been in the past, or certain type of games.
Yeah.
However, again, you look at RPGs, they can be great. And maybe you can get a justification that they're putting all this work into animations and everything else, but again, you can point out so many games that don't cost, or they're not charging 74, and it's still, they're bigger games. They offer more value. And they're not annual iterations. I don't know. It's such an absolute piss take. And you could go into the whole issue again. They've stripped back content. They've already selling packs for you're pre-ordering a DLC. You're getting a season pass. You don't know what's coming. They probably don't know what's coming.
And then they cancel it.
Actually, yeah. Let's not get back on that one yet.
Well, it's a valid point though. Imagine it's like you still spent 60 on Anthem if you bought it within the first week. If you bought it after it went on sale after like a month, then yeah, you didn't get scammed as much.
But you paid full price on a promise, and that's where we're at.
And that's the problem. That the games aren't being made, and you don't actually pay full price for a game anymore. You pay over full price. Games don't cost 60 or the upcoming cost of 70. They cost more. They cost hundreds. If you want all the content anyway, because you've got the pre-order exclusives, you've got pre-order bonuses, you've got season passes for content that you probably would have got free.
Yeah.
It's just...
something that is a nice comparison to NBA 2K is Doom Eternal. This week there was this tidbit of news that the game had already, garnered I think over 450 million in revenue, and that's without any microtransactions, of course. So
you know why?
I mean, do
you know why?
It's a good game.
Yes, and you can keep
Good
playing
game.
it.
Yeah.
Does that include because they released DLC, didn't it? Does that include the DLC?
Yeah, probably does. I mean,
even then, $500 million is not bad. If someone wants to give me $500 million, I'm not going to go, oh, that's not enough.
Yeah.
I don't. How much Doom Eternal, as a rough guess, it can't have cost them. It must have cost what? About, including marketing, maybe 50 mil? 50 to 80 million?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't.
That's excessive.
I don't think they have expensive voice actors, right? Because that's usually one of the. That's usually one of the major costs these days.
Come on, let's face it. The Doom Eternal voice actor just goes, "Fuck, angry, smash."
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they hired Hollywood actors to voice, so I don't think they.
Anyway, we all know what should be happening. Everybody should just hire Sean Bean for everything.
Yeah, I've been watching Snowpiercer, so.
Yeah, I need to watch season 2 of that, but that's not gaming. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think my opinion is that video game companies have been scamming the living fuck out of all of us for such a long time, and we've got Strauss Zelnick, the man who needs eternally punching in the face and swiftly kicking in the crotch, preferably while having his nipples burned with cigarettes or something.
This is always he's doing. WCCF Tech dissociates from.
I'll just do it myself. Yeah, it's not the site who wants to do it. It's just me and Keith. He's looking quite enticed by the idea. I'm quite disturbed by your face there, Keith.
Sorry, I was caught on by something. Something popped up over here.
Yeah, I know.
He was calling his lawyer.
It just annoys me because we don't get the base game anymore for that price. Not unless depends on the developer, depends on the publisher, but 2K, Take-Two Interactive, they're notoriously bad at screwing people. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with what they're called. Who's Embracer just bought from? Who was always working with 2K?
Gearbox.
Yeah, Gearbox. Be interesting to see what happens with Gearbox products and if Randy Pitchford's still allowed to talk in the future, which he probably will because Embracer or THQ Nordic did that silly AMA on 4chan or whatever it was. Yeah, okay. I'm getting angry at companies again. So we know that companies are screwing us on the price of games, but now we've got Joseph Fares who made what's that prison game he made?
No
Way Out. Yeah, that's the one. So he thinks that replayability is overrated. I disagree, and I'm right. He's wrong, but
okay, it's such a bad take.
Yeah, go on, Keith.
I think it's a lot like the last one. It really does depend on the game, like the type of experience that you're having with the game. But for the vast majority of games, if you do the replayability, that sounds like somebody that wants you to buy another game, is what it sounds like. Play the game, what's the phrase? Consume product, get excited about next product, and then consume. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, that's the cycle. That's the cycle of the games industry.
Yeah,
that's the cycle that Peter Molyneux relied on. Have people consume products, tell lie about next product to build excitement, and then
that's all that is. Again. That's crap. It's such a bad take. It's like you might as well go beep bop boop, buy new game. Don't play game again. Once you finish, throw away. Buy new. Consume.
You're not paying me to play the game again.
Yeah, exactly. No. You know what? replayability matters if somebody example, Control. That's one of the things I love so much about that game. I have now played it on every system that it's out on so far. I would try it out and I would keep playing it because it's so good, even though I've played the game, and because you can do things differently. Replayability isn't about necessarily the ability to just go back and do the game again. It's to do it differently.
I suppose. Yeah, go on.
No, that's what it is. It's all about being able to do it differently. Being creative with the development process.
I suppose I feel a little bad. We should sort of expand on his point. Like, that's the takeaway from it, and it does seem like a bad takeaway. He does have an additional point to his point. It's like he talks about the focus on replayability and people aren't replaying games. He does say that developers need to focus on making people finish games because there's a large percentage of people never even finish a game.
That part I will agree with. I will 100% agree with the finishing. But But okay, if that's the take, if the take is they need to focus a little bit less on the replayability and the ending, because you can tell lately over the past few years that people aren't really finishing the games and the developers aren't really intending for them to, because the endings suck. The endings are horrible. The ending for Prey 2017 was so bad it made me not want to finish another game.
Oh dear.
I hold deep contempt for that game.
Yeah, as I wrote in the piece as well, I mean, it does sound like a bad take on the surface level, but it does have a point in that I don't think perhaps as many people replay games, that is to say single-player games, not multiplayer games, which are a different different breed.
Which we'll talk about shortly,
because, for example, as great as The Witcher 3 was, just to do an example, I didn't really replay it. I mean, I played through all of the campaign and the DLCs when they came out, but I never really wanted to pick it up and play it again from the beginning honestly, it almost never happens, at least to me, that I go in and replay a game that I've already finished. From the start to the end. I think it's quite right that only a relatively small percentage of people do that, especially when the game is large.
Yeah,
I think on the other hand that if a game is replayable in nature, it also means that the game itself has more variability in itself, and this is also great if you're even playing one single time, because it means that usually it means that you have more options, more gameplay options. You can do different things. It's not like a predefined path. It's not a linear game. So even if you're not really replaying the game, if not that many people do it, making games replayable also makes the games better, even for a single playthrough, at least in my opinion.
Oh. It gives it more variety. Simple as
So
I agree with him that games need to make games so people want to finish them. They make games that can be finished, Anthem. And
not everything has to be games of service.
Yeah. I've always been somebody who I will replay a game. I tend to replay games more than I play new games, because I suppose it's because I know if I want to replay something, I know it's already good, whereas a new game is the unknown, and I'm afraid of the unknown. The unknown scares me.
You like to be comfortable.
It's like full of Cthulhu monsters and everything, and that's even the Hello Kitty games.
Yeah, well, that's like if I sit down and I play Doom 3, I'm going to enjoy myself. Or if I sit down and I play Control, or I play Assassin's Creed, the Odyssey, I know I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah,
but I feel you, Chris. Sometimes firing up that new game, you think, man, maybe Outriders is going to be great, but no, it sucks.
Oh, is that your take of the demo then?
It was the most formulaic, paint by numbers, boring. Oh my god, it was so boring.
Was it boring?
You know what? I'm gonna say this like I always say. If you enjoyed it, I'm glad, as you should enjoy all things that you do. But
you sound so angry that people
because everybody I've talked to told me how wonderful, and I mean everybody, people out here in IRL, like people that I run into, and they like, oh man, you played the Outriders demo? I was like, I did, and I gouged my eyes out, and they were like, I loved it, and I was like, great.
I mean, it is very, very much linear, too much linear, I think, for a game this age. But I mean, what it does,
mechanically,
I think it does
good.
fairly well. Yeah,
The mechanics are solid.
That's going to be another topic, linearity. That's another topic for another day, because I don't have an issue with linearity, but again, something for another day.
It depends on the game.
Yeah.
Linearity only becomes a problem to me whenever it becomes overly predictable, and it's just, next hiding spot, shoot, next hiding spot, shoot.
Yeah, this actually works into the replayability of games, because I find that if a game's got a good story, I'm more than happy to replay it. This is including massive RPGs. I've played Final Fantasy VII, and this is the original one. I've completed it back to front over 10 times.
Wow.
Yeah, and I adore that game, and still do. I've completed Final Fantasy VIII at least 3 times. Final Fantasy IX 3 or 4 times. 10, I think I've completed it 3 times. And again, you look at games where they've got great characters, great stories. I'm more than happy to complete them and replay them. And again, another one, I replayed it since it came out on the PC, Horizon Zero Dawn. Loved it on the PS4. PC, yes. Thank you very much, Horizon.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm still finding myself jumping into God of War, even though I finished it, just because it's so much fun. And that game is a great example of how to get someone to finish the game, but also still want to go back and keep playing, because the campaign is not like, the main storyline is not so linear that you feel like you're in a tunnel, but it's not so open that you get lost. However, once you finish the story, you realize there's still a world to explore. And does that game even have microtransactions?
No,
I don't think. No. None of the Sony first-party exclusives, with the exception of this new shit Destruction Derby, has microtransactions.
And God of War could have easily had them.
Yeah. All of them could. Horizon could have.
Yeah. Buying material packs and stuff. So.
Did you kill the Valkyries, Kit?
I'm after them. I did a few of them, so
I haven't even played God of War yet.
Really?
It's so good, Chris. It's so good.
But I'm too busy playing Pokemon Blue.
No. Put it down. It's cheap. It's God of War has been one of the best gaming experiences I've had in the past few years.
Also, as a dad, right? I mean,
God of War, God of Boy.
It's so
cool.
When I next get a break from the games I'm going to be doing, because I'm playing Stronghold now, which by the time this comes out, the review should be out. And then I plan on picking up Starbase Startopia. I've been offered that to review. I'm allowed to say I've been offered it to review. I can't, obviously. I haven't accepted anything yet. But I was interested in that when I looked at it. So when I get a little bit of free time, I will pick up Dad of Boy.
Yes, you should. It's yeah.
And then sometime in 2025, I will pick up Control when Alan Wake 10 is out.
And you'll make a Let's Play video.
Yes.
Okay. What was I going to say?
Crotchety old bastard plays Control.
So what's speaking of playing games in the distant future and stuff, what is going on with the whole thing on multiplayer? I kept seeing it on the site, and I see it on our notes for today.
That's Remedy as well. So
so what
I'll let you
Remedy?
explain this, Alessio.
Yeah.
Basically, if you've been reading WCCF Tech, we've often mentioned or outright, spoke about the Vanguard project that Remedy is secretly, or not so secretly anymore, cooking. That's basically their first multiplayer project. They've done only single-player games to date. With the exception of Crossfire, they've been doing some work on Crossfire, on the campaign of it. But yeah, basically this Vanguard project is, coming closer to its reveal, hopefully. And the CEO of Remedy recently said that, of course, with cooperative games, the issue is often the so-called content treadmill. That is to say, the fact that players can consume content far more quickly than developers can produce, and that's been the case for most cooperative or PvE-focused games for decades now. I mean, if you look at World of Warcraft, Chris knows this because, of course, he played it a lot as well. I mean, no matter
how many 3,000 hours into the game.
Yeah, no matter how many developers Blizzard can add to its roster, they can never put out as much content as players can handle. Because if you do handcrafted content, it's it just takes too long to keep up with the speed that players can go through it. So I think what is being implied here is hopefully some sort of use of AI and procedural generation to keep things, hopefully fresh every time that you play the game, because otherwise you cannot do handcrafted content that keeps the content fresh every time for players. It's just impossible.
It's that mixture of proc gen and crafted content and it does help games. It really can.
So it is something that a lot of games have struggled with. I mean, if going back to Anthem as well, that's another game that mostly struggled with content first and foremost.
Yeah, but to be fair, that wasn't because they run out of content to do. It's just that they never actually created any content.
Yeah, true. Of course, yeah. That was especially egregious. So yeah, but it is a long-standing issue in co-op games. I mean, for example, Valheim has a procedurally generated map, so it's everyone has a different map to explore. So it's exciting. It's exciting to visit the map of your friends because it's different from yours, and it also extends the replayability of the game.
Yeah, I suppose the more the developers learn on how to use proc gen, again, a live service game that the one that got it right, that uses procedural generation, is No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
it had that. It was mostly procedural generated, but it had enough in it to really create certain special things. Well, eventually, when they finally made the things for it to create. It's a weird one. Didn't Bastion single player game use procedural generation with a mixture of handcrafted as well?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean it's not exactly new, but it used to be the case that procedurally generated content simply wasn't as good as handcrafted content. But I think we are getting to a point where the lines are blurred, and hopefully procedurally generated content can be almost as good as handcrafted content in the future. I mean, that would be a great step forward for co-op games.
You're dying over there, Chris.
Yeah, I just choking on my whiskey, but I just remembered a game that it probably wasn't my first encounter with procedural generated content, but it's the one I really remembered, and that was Elder Scrolls. I think it was Skyrim that used
Radiant AI,
Skyrim. Oblivion had everything handcrafted, and then Skyrim had the handcrafted, and then Radiant AI would create random quests just in whatever random dungeon was nearby. And they weren't as good, but they felt, to an extent, they felt like they were part of the world. The writing was subpar, but it still brought something there, and you could see how that could develop. So, yeah, there really is ways to do it, and I can imagine games are going to get there. And Remedy, it's going to be interesting to see how they do it in a co-op setting as well.
Yeah, because of course they've also mentioned that they want to keep their story aspect, their strong story aspect. So that's interesting to see how they can marry this concept with keeping a strong story as well.
So the real question is, their co-op game, is it going to be part of the Alan Wake universe?
I don't know.
I think it should be. Somebody can hold the flashlight and I'll hold the gun.
Do that, they're going to make it VR.
Oh no, I'm having nightmares there. VR playing Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. It wasn't terrible, but I don't think VR's ready for co-op.
No,
I haven't played a good co-op VR game yet.
Yeah,
but yeah, I like the way Remedy's thinking, and Remedy's a developer that the games they've made aren't perfect, or at least I don't know if Control's perfect. I haven't played it yet.
They have their games have a unique type of character to it. You don't feel like you're playing something you've played before. So
I really enjoyed Alan Wake, so I know Control is part of that universe.
Did you play Quantum Break?
I think I did. Can't remember now.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
That's not a game you think you played. You either played Quantum Break or you didn't.
I can't remember. I've slept since then.
Chances are you haven't played it.
Isn't that the one where is Quantum Break the one where you could like stop time and weird things like that?
Sort of.
Yeah, and it's also intertwined with the kind of TV series. So you play the game, then watch an episode, then
yeah, it's wonderful.
I think I did. I think I played it for probably about, I don't know, a few hours, and then never actually completed it. So I will play it one time. So should I play Quantum Break before I play Control?
It's not required reading.
Yeah,
but it's a good game in its own right.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's also they make interesting universes. That's for sure. Between Alan Wake, Control, and Quantum Break as well, they are kind of unique brand of supernatural, if you will. So it's
fair enough. I don't think I ever watched the TV series. I like Sean Ashmore as well, and Aidan Gillen.
It's really well
done. There's also Lance Reddick. There are many...
Oh God, Lance Reddick as well. I liked him on Fringe.
See there?
Okay. What? See where? What?
They're just there. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I do actually need to watch the TV series. How long did it go on for?
No, but it was actually released within the game.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. The people complained at the time that the download was huge because it was both the game and all the episodes.
Right.
So,
okay. Fair enough. I'll have to.
Yeah. It's meant to be watched together. While
I never got to the first episode, so I have no clue. That shows how little I played of it.
Yeah. But
okay, I trust them. So yeah, my conclusion of it, I think, of everything is, Take-Two are crap. Anthem was shit.
Okay.
Anthem was shit. Games do need replayability, but they need to actually get people to finish the games, and I do need to play Control and possibly Breaking Quantums. I think that's me done. What are you smiling at, Keith? In fact, you're not smiling, you've just like got a twitch.
Yeah. It's Quantum Break.
Yeah.
That's
actually, the protagonist in Control, I mean, the actress playing the protagonist in Control is also a character in Quantum Break. So, yeah.
God, I'm going to need to play it then.
It's wonderful.
Fine, I will do it.
Good. My work here is done.
Remind me in about 8 years.
My work is done.
Yeah, I think that's everything, unless there's anything quickly to add.
I'm good.
Just news that there is a Dungeons and Dragons AAA open world RPG in development at Hidden Path.
Yeah, until we find out, and yeah, that's we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know when. So, but it's interesting to see that this is the first time that Dungeons and Dragons is having an open world game, and even though it's one of the most influential, I think, IPs and rule sets when it comes to gaming, I mean, it kind of began the whole tabletop gaming, which has been a huge influence early on for video games as well. So it's interesting.
We'll have to have a look, see how it develops. It's only just been announced, so yeah, we'll keep an eye on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any summaries from what we've talked about, Alessio? Do you think that Strauss Zelnick's the wonderful person? No, you don't.
No, definitely.
Good lad.
I mean, he's an executive, so it's just
needs punching.
Trying to. Yeah, I mean, actually, is also pretty much a self-proclaimed non-gamer. That is to say, doesn't play games himself, and is made
the breeze.
So is really just an executive making money-related, business-related decisions. But I mean, so far, he's been doing well, at least financially, for Take-Two. So I don't see him going anywhere.
No, sadly not.
So,
oh well. But yeah, I think that's everything. So yeah, everybody, thanks for joining us, and this is us signing off.
Goodbye, good sirs.
Au revoir.